you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming on the air with us, folks. We certainly appreciate having you guys for 16 years, 2,500 episodes of the Chris Voss Show, of all the most amazing minds, the most amazing opinions, and the most amazing guests who bring you their stories, their cathartic moments of life, their journeys, their lessons of life, sharing with you so you can make your life better and, of course, survive maybe some of the same pitfalls that we all seem to fall into in life, and know you're not alone, and know that there's a blueprint out there to survive just about anything, except for, if a piano drops on your head, that might be different. But don't do that, folks. I highly recommend it. It's in the fine print of the show. Anyway, guys, go to goodreads.com /Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com /Chris Voss. Is that in the fine print of the show? And Facebook.com /Chris Voss. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today, amazing young gentleman, we're on the show. We're going to be talking to Steve Thomas. We're going to get into it with him. Welcome to the show, Steve. How are you?
Mr. Voss, Chris, what do you prefer to go by?
Chris is fine.
Chris, really nice to meet you. Really great to be here. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you as well, and thanks for being here. Give us, I don't know if you have a title you want to give us, or give us a .com where people can find you on the interwebs.
You can find me on moronsmemoir.com and also creativepostures.com. Two different websites, both in need of plenty of work.
Oh, thank you. So, do you want to give us a 30,000 overview of who you are and what you do? I didn't have a bio, so I'll let you do the intro.
Oh, all right, then. Basically, I am your garden variety 40-year-old plus who is having a midlife awakening and decides to do it in a very creative and death-defying fashion. And I live to tell the tale, and I believe that jumping straight out of a airplane with no parachute and trusting in something is the way to go. And I got one version of that.
Jumping out of a parachute is that's kind of how we go through life, right? We were talking a little bit of that in the pre-show. How we go through life is kind of that way. What do you think about that?
I think the only time is now. And,
the only time is now.
It's just, you think about yesterday, you think about tomorrow. It's just figment of your imagination. But now it really exists, and what are you doing with it? It's a joke, or it could be make you laugh or make you cry.
And I think some people call this being present. I found this through Eckhart Tolle a lot of years ago. Was there a point that you reached where you made this discovery? Was there an aha moment where you're like, hey, you know what? I should quit worrying about the past, the future, and take care now?
Well, I've had a few of those experiences. Some of them trauma-induced, and some of them plant medicine-induced. But either way, getting present and being, in the moment when it happens, and you're in the flow, it's a good place to be.
When were you aware that you're utilizing this strategy and policy in your life?
I think for me, I'm still like, a lot of people are coming on wherever they are as like this final project. I am very not a final project. I'm just like an in development kind of thing.
Yeah.
So as I'm learning more, whether it's physics-based or magical-based, which I have yet to figure out if those aren't the same thing anyway.
Probably.
Yeah, right? And as I continue, I start to see these similarities between things, and then I try things on. I wear a lot of different hats, people that have watched me, and I think that's part of life, is just trying on the different hats and not taking any of them too seriously, but, loving them just the same.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up a good point. I think we all kind of sometimes with age reach a clarity point where we go, oh, and kind of what helps is you can look behind you and you can see this trail of trauma or issues or problems or mistakes behind you. And there's kind of a consistent pattern in the detritus where you're like, yeah, maybe it's me. And you kind of go, maybe I should talk to a therapist, or maybe I should, read a book or try and figure something out. And, you kind of start seeing the patterns. But, like you say, we were talking pre-show about this thing you have about walking backwards. Do you want to tell us about that and how that works and staying present for you?
Yeah, I mean, in order to become present, we need some neuroplasticity. Like, we need to be in the moment. The brain's got to be kind of working for us. That's why traveling is called a trip, and why we get a lot out of traveling, because you're very neuroplastic when that's happening. Mm-hmm. I started a practice of walking backwards, physically walking backwards, based on many people have heard of him, knees over toes guy, saying it was good for your back, good for your knees. So I started doing it outside, and walk backwards. And I did this for a while, and to the point where I noticed it wasn't just the physical act of walking backwards, but the mental aspect of seeing the world via walking backwards, trusting that you're not going to fall backwards while you move, and knowing that this is how we live life. We don't see what comes next. We have to live looking back at our past and making those past decisions help us make the forward decisions. And as that kind of like really just sank in with me from just a walking backwards practice, I started doing that in different aspects of my life. And I often ask if someone says like, oh, why'd you write that poem? Why are you making that song? I'm thinking of like, what is the craziest thing I could do? Because I'm just going backwards. And I was about to tell you the big pro tip for your audience. If they take anything from this episode, it's this. This is where walking backwards works. You go into Costco. Next time you go backwards. Start at the end of the store. Get the stuff, right? What do you need there? You got the paper towels. You got all that stuff that you actually need. Fills up your cart. You keep going backwards while everyone's going the other way. You're snaking around them. You go around. By the time you're finished, you're going to spend $300 less, and you're going to be at register 1 or 2 where there's no freaking lines. You just walk backwards through Costco, save $300. You're welcome. Like, I'm just saying, you're welcome.
Hi, and then, of course, people think you're crazy, so they get out of your way, and it's easy to grab stuff off the shelves, right?
I don't mind. I'm from New York City. If they don't think you're crazy, you are crazy.
That's true. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's what my mom used to tell me when I was a kid. Anyway, so now you've written some books. Tell us about some of the things you've done in your life. What has been your life's journey? It sounds like you've worn some hats and tried on some hats. Tell us about your life's journey. How did you grow up? What were some of your influences, et cetera, et cetera?
I'm a born and raised New York City kid. Brooklyn, Staten Island, lived in Queens, lived in Manhattan. The only borough I haven't lived in is the Bronx, which, unless you're from the Bronx, there's no reason to live there. Hey, shout out to my BX folk. Where did you grow up, Chris?
I grew up in SoCal, Southern California. Yeah.
All right.
On the other side of the world there from New York. New York. Yeah.
New York? You want to give me your best New York impression?
I don't think I have one. New York. I don't know. Yeah. I suck.
I hear you. Well, funny story is that when I was trying to get going in the business, I work on Wall Street. Mm-hmm. I had tried to become a salesperson. This is after 10 years of climbing through the shit pipe. I'm trying to become a salesperson, and my managers at the time said, we can't put you on the phone with clients because you sound like Joey Bag of Donuts. And I was like, I like donuts. If somebody showed up to my house with donuts, I'd let them in. Right?
Especially a bag. I mean, when you have a bag.
A whole bag of donuts.
A whole bag of donuts.
And I had not heard that term before, but, modern day millennials might say it's derogatory. To me, it wasn't. It was fine. They said, truthfully, we don't like the way you sound, your accent and whatnot. Go to try to get diction classes.
Diction classes, wow.
Diction classes, and go to this thing called Toastmasters. So
okay.
I looked up diction classes. They cost about $50,000 a year, and when you're making $42,000, that doesn't really equate too much. So diction was out. I went to Toastmasters, which is, it's like the AA for people who are afraid of speaking, right? Everybody gets a chance. They go around. It's fantastic. They called on me to do a random speech. I did the speech. They came up to me afterwards. They're like, "Why are you here? This is for people that are trying to get." I'm like, "I'm here because my bosses told me to come here."
Yeah.
And they said, "Do me a favor. Other people need it more than you." And I was like, "I got you. Whatever."
Wow.
So I got kicked out of Toastmasters. So instead, I actually signed up and went to improv at the Upright Citizens Brigade in Manhattan, like Amy Poehler or the SNL. A lot of people that are in commercials or trying to get on TV shows are there. And I wound up doing a few levels of improv, which I felt great about. Anybody who wants to be in sales should definitely take improv. It just helps your communication skills 100%. Anybody should take it. It's just great. And then I went back to my bosses. I said, "Hey, I took improv. Yes, and they were like, "That's not what we asked you to do."
Oh, wow.
So it didn't work that well. But as I tell my story, I kind of said, well, sometimes in life you got to stand up and say, "Take me or leave me," because this is just the way it's going to be. And I, as I had to do a couple times, I was like, "You either move me up or move me out," and they moved me up at that point. I was gifted with the ability to take a phone and make phone calls. I wasn't given any accounts, nothing like that. I was gifted with this phone and this huge ability to pick it up and call people. And so I did. And, less than anybody, they might not want to give you the phone. And then when you get the phone, you probably don't know what to do with it. Just keep calling. Just keep dialing.
There you go. Plus, you sell well if you sell like, Joey Bananas or whatever.
Donuts.
Joey Donuts.
The donut smell would wafer over the phone. They'd be like, "Oh, I smell those donuts."
Yeah. Sales is an interesting thing. And one thing I learned a long time ago, I was a kid when I discovered this, is I realized that, back then you had the Sears catalog, the JCPenney catalog, and I won't describe what happened with that thing. But I realized that life was a giant catalog where you could choose. Gen Z is like, "What's a catalog?" I like confusing the Gen Zers listen to the show. We love them. And so I realized that you could choose things in life. I'm like, wow, I don't have to. I realized that society is pushing a narrative on me of how I should be as a person or a man. But I realize, and like careers, because everyone hustle you when you're a kid. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna be when you grow up." I don't know. Your mom's boyfriend. That should have been what I should have said. But you just didn't know, and so you're kind of like, I don't know. You say all sorts of stupid shit just to placate people. But I realized that life was a thing, and then I realized that I had a choice of what I could choose to do. And that was empowering in a lot of ways, because a lot of people, they don't wake up till 40 or 50 in a midlife crisis and realize they've been living someone else's dream. What are your thoughts on that?
And how old were you when you figured that out? Where were you?
I was probably with my pants down in front of the JCPenney catalog.
So you
14.
You knew what you wanted to do at 14 years old?
No, I'm sorry. You were asking me a question of what did I find what I want to do?
I know what you found in the magazine. I had some magazines.
You had those delivered too, huh? Those big things you could use to settle the table. You could hit somebody with those things and kill them. That and the phone book. But
the yellow pages.
But I accidentally started my first company at 18. It wasn't. And I wasn't sitting around like today where you're like, "I'm an entrepreneur." I just did it. And I was out of desperation because I got fired from McDonald's with long hair. And so I ran with it.
You got fired for having long hair or just?
Yeah, fired for having long hair from McDonald's. We'd moved up to Utah where there's a cult here. And they were ultra religious. Oh, yeah, that cult. And And they
don't come after me, Mormons.
Yeah,
I'm in New York. I don't think we have to worry.
Yeah, you'll be fine. they'd have to pack up the 10 kids and 5 wives and head out there to get you.
You could just send the 5 wives.
I don't think they can. Yeah, you don't want that.
No, don't send the 5 wives.
Yeah, I know, but no, I think so. I got to starting your own entrepreneur business, and once you get that drug, you just the freedom and being able to do what you want and stuff. I never let go, but yeah, I just kind of tripped into it, and so I've been broken ever since.
Good, best way to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to write your own checks and stuff. Do you want to plug your book? I know you have a YouTube channel as well. I want to make sure we get some plugs in here for you. Do you want to plug some of the things you're doing over there?
I'd like to plug, but I'd also like to ask you a question, if that's okay. Am I allowed to?
Yeah.
You talk to a lot more people than me, and you're obviously seeing people that are going through their journey, right? Mm-hmm. So you're a watering hole on the road to people's self-awakening journey, right? Like that's kind of with the change. I think especially over the last 20, 30 years, the change of Americans' relationship with like religion and kind of spirituality. Where are you seeing commonalities there? Where are you seeing us coalesce? Because I feel like there's a big energy shift going on. I feel like there's definitely consciousness changes going on. You're talking to people that are in process mostly, even if they don't know it, or they like. So from your perspective, what are you seeing? What are you picking up on?
I think a lot of people are learning to tell their stories, and that sharing them are important, and that by doing so, they help other people realize that they are not alone. This show is really a collection of story collectors. I'm a griot by trade, and I love stories. I love people's journeys. I love listening to people there. I'm sick of all mine. I had to live mine, so I'm over it. But I love hearing other people's stories. And so a lot of people are addressing their traumas. They're addressing their childhood issues that maybe they weren't fully aware of, and because we're all children at some point, or some people still are. But yeah, it seems like a lot of people are kind of at the point where they're telling their story, and that's probably part of their healing. As you say, they're kind of in that, they're kind of that new self-discovery of who they are. And so a lot of people like that, and they're kind of finding their purpose and their voice in life of what they like to talk about and what they like to help other people like. So I'm seeing a lot of that. You wouldn't find it on Twitter or social media, but the great people who come on the show usually have those stories.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I've thought a lot about that as I like to say that nobody's special, but everybody's unique. So it kind of keeps me grounded and also kind of out there at the same time. And one of the things that I've been working on, just to give you a sneak peek of, it's, again, everything's not always fully baked, but I believe, so I was a suppressed creative for, 35, 38, 40 years, basically. I was always a writer, but I got into finance. I got into these places where you're not writing, you're not creating. It was just, it's about making money. That's all it is. And then when I kind of quit my job, lost my job, got fired, whatever, you read it in the story. I found myself, and this was a moment of faith where, like, you could call it energy, God, whatever you want, said, write a fucking book. And that's why I wrote the book, because something said, write the fucking book. And I wrote the book, and I wrote it quick in a week, and then edited the shit out of it, whatever. Wow. But within the writing, opened up the gate of the practice of writing. So I believe thoroughly that it does not matter what you write, but that every person, we are connected to writing as a form of expression deeply and generationally, like thousands of years. And I have adopted a process called 1,000 words, and I write 1,000 words every day, without stop, every single day. And if I miss one, I hold myself accountable, and then I do 2,000. So if I go on vacation, I'm not around, then I got to come back and do 7,000 words. So I am going to be guaranteed to be writing 360K in a year. And
and when did you start that?
I started in like this February.
Yeah.
It's just like
do you write in the morning or night, or just whenever you get time during the day in a clear moment?
It's funny. I came up during this process. I found out that I'm time polar. I'm not bipolar, but I am time polar.
Tell us what that is.
AM Steve is like AM Steve's like a fucking wizard. Like he knows shit that like he's not supposed to know. He's in the Himalayas. He knows stuff. PM Steve is like Andrew Dice Clay's brother. Like they're like little boy. You know what I mean?
You have a little bit of Andrew Dice Clay. I was going to bring that up earlier. Yeah. I love that dude.
Three blind mice see how they run.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are they going?
I love him. I first saw him on his first appearance on Rodney Dangerfield.
Wow. That's like 86, 85.
Yeah.
80,
him
right?
and Sam, I'm under the influence of surgery drugs. Him and Sam, I forget his name, but he was killed in that car.
Sam Kinison.
And
man, that's a show.
God. There was, it was all the greats there. It was that one guy who ended up with a home remodeling your home show. Tim Allen. It was like a who's who of future, and he was just showcasing them as up and coming talent. It was just extraordinary, and I just love watching Dice, man. Just seeing him piss people off, and of course, come up with such great comedy. This is great.
Yeah, I recently saw that exact show that you're talking about.
Yeah,
and he could not perform that act today.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen him. Have you seen him? He goes around on TikTok and he goes up to people and tells them that he won't autograph stuff. It's kind of funny. Sometimes he goes to famous people. He's like, "No, sorry, I'm not doing autographs today." And like, who are you? Because he looks kind of different in his old age.
I love that Dice is still himself and nobody knows who he is. It's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah. It's funny shit, man.
That's why when you say like, what do you want to promote? It's like, what I'm promoting is people being regular people and just helping people because it's the right thing to do. When
regular people.
Regular morons. We're all freaking morons. When you start this is the whole thing. When you start as a moron, you can then admit that you don't know everything, look someone in the eye, and grow together. If you come from that's the whole moron thing. If you come from your perch, it's like, I don't got time for that. So the people that are like uncomfortable by this, I know right away that it's like, okay, you're have some type of supremacy issues, like you got something going on. It's like, and it's fine. That's fine to be. But I think that coming from humility, that I don't know things, please teach me. I'm open to hearing. I think that's just a better way to live. And that's the moron way. That's the morons unite.
Dude, you need to do a book with the title, The Moron Way, The Moron's Way. You need to do this. I'm, especially if you're pumping 1,000 words a day. But I think you need to create a mantra. I think you're creating a movement because you're right. As soon as we kind of get off our soapboxes and our high horses and our attitudes and our narcissism, and we meet each other as human beings and talk to each other like human beings. Is that what the show does? Maybe we should change the byline on the Chris Voss Show, where human beings actually talk to each other for a change. Then we'll do another show where people just look in their phones the whole time and just murmur to each other. That's a whole different show. So what are some other Steve-isms, as it were?
I mean, there are a lot of them. You point me in a direction, you're likely to get a
Steve-ism. See, that would be your byline. That could be like what do we say, morons, and then that's the title or something like that, and then a collection of Steve-isms.
Yeah, I sometimes I say Stevie Ponders. You know what I mean?
Stevie Ponders.
You know what I mean?
Make that your Twitter tag. Your
But here's the thing, Chris. I gotta tell you the truth. Like, I love the idea that we can communicate in so many ways. I think it's really fantastic. I also fucking hate this. Like, I hate the whole idea that I have to stay connected. The poets out there know that you can only live poetry and you have to be connected to that poetry for it to happen. The moment it becomes, I got a post, I got a this, I got a that, I got a that, that's not poetry anymore. It's fucking horseshit. And I see it and like I can start and go with it. And I'm just like, I was off social media for like 8 years because I'm like, until I have something to sell, I'm out. And now I had a book. I'm like, all right, I got something to sell. And I'm still like, this is a echo chamber wasteland. Like, so yeah, have a handle, have a this, or have a talk. You want to talk with Steve? That's the show, Sitting with Steve. Like, I want to have real talks with real people. You want to come on? We talk, chop it up.
I think this should be a podcast. Sitting with Steve, chopping it up podcast. Someone's probably got a chopping it up podcast maybe already. Probably nailed that title down. All the good titles are gone, I think, including the Chris Voss Show. That's a great title.
I got to tell you, the thing about creativity, which people should understand, and is another thing I try to talk about, is the reason. I think AI is the biggest threat to a lot of jobs, but it's basing its decisions on things that have happened and algorithms and da-da-da-da. True creativity comes from a different place. And you're taking, and this is where when people are like, oh, I manifest, I do this. Write something down. You're manifesting words on a paper. Like, take it from where it doesn't exist, make it exist, and bring it in. That is what creativity is. It's what makes us different. And that is the medicine. The medicine is in the creativity. So if I'm promoting anything, I'm promoting creativity because I live it, I breathe it, and I still sit there and I sling bonds for a living, bro. Come at me. Like, I do pretty well, but I'm incomplete unless I'm creating. So I'm just promoting that,
What are your thoughts on being creative as an artist? Like recently, I returned to photography, and I'm a very logic and reason sort of guy. I'm very masculine. I'm very stoic. The only time you can get me to cry is if my dog dies, or I don't know, the bad guy loses in the movie or something. But they shoot Al Pacino in Godfather or something.
That'll get you every time.
That'll get you every time, Robert De Niro. But I recently turned to photography, and I've been doing it not as a business, but as an art. And I've been really enjoying the creative process as an outlet, as a meditation for all the other stuff I do. What are your thoughts on that? And should people have more of that sort of engagement to creativity and art in their life, maybe?
I think I'm really happy for you that you found that. I hope that continues to fulfill you and sustain you and help you grow as an artist and in the things that, one of my first boss told me, do what you got to do so that you can do what you want to do.
I love that.
But a lot of people do what they have to do, and they never even get to choose what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Freedom is doing what you want to do when you want to do it. That's all it is, and that's true freedom. If you have the freedom to choose photography, I think that's amazing. I work with an artist. His name is Mr. Wu. Anybody who follows me sees I always have videos with him. This guy is a master artist, and I tell you, he's a master. Most people don't believe me, but he's a master. And he's been working at the Staten Island Mall at a kiosk for 40 years after being a famous painter in China. Wow. He came to America because he became a teacher, and he did not like teaching. He said, teaching is where you go to die. That's not what a master is supposed to do. I was born to paint. So the only thing this guy does, paint and draw and paint and create. And he's been doing it for 60 years. He's 69. He's been doing it since he's 8 years old. 61 years. This guy's, all he does is one job. And he doesn't sell it well, and he doesn't, make a big deal of it, but he is amazing. And he says, if you create art with the thought to sell it, it's not art anymore. Oh. Now it's something else. He goes, I don't think about what they sell for. I don't think about anything. And he's got all his paintings, and he's art for art's sake. This is what you cannot be thinking about turning a profit or anything and still call it art. And we're losing that in this, like, what are you promoting thing? I want you to know I'm not coming at you.
I know.
But you know what I mean. What I mean? Like, I'm promoting, like, I'm just making shit. And I got paintings on my wall that I'm working with this guy on. And I think that is something, it's a message that I think needs to get out there. Create art for art's sake.
Yeah. And, I've felt that way, too, with the new thing I've gone into, because people are like, are you going to turn this into a business? And I'm like, no, I think that would taint it for me. I think that would ruin it for me. I like kind of just being laissez-faire, and, the thought of having a brand or, someone on set who's paying and being like, well, I want it this way. And I'm like, well, that looks stupid. I'm not doing that. And so I've been really enjoying it the past 2 months. And It's giving me an outlet. And you're right. That's something I'm going to keep in mind, and I'm going to definitely remember for the show forever. Is if you're paying for it. But yeah, I think more we need to do that kind of self care. Like I just find it meditative to go. I'll go downtown, and I really won't go with an agenda much. Sometimes I'll go down. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to put it on the shutter setting or the aperture setting, and I'm just going to shoot all shutter stuff, and I'm going to try and make some art. And then, sometimes I go down with a certain lens and I'm like, I want to, I'm just going to force myself to use this lens, and, instead of a zoom, maybe a hard prime, where you're going to have to move around. And, I have a lot of fun with it. I find a lot of cathartic, sort of meditation. And I think more people need that in their lives. They need more, maybe we need more art and creativity and release that way.
My book was, I wrote at the end of the book that this was my creative catharsis. And once you start to feel that you're allowed to release some of these things through art takes what's very hard and beyond words and puts it into so what Mr. Wu does, he's a painter, right? And people hear that word all the time, painting. And they forget that you can't have a painting without some paint.
It's true. Mr. Wu, I'll have to take a look at his artwork and stuff. Do you want to give a plug out to his website?
I will give a plug out to Mr. Wu at the Staten Island Mall at a kiosk in the middle, right in the middle. He's been there for 40 years. He's got Instagram. Let's put it this way, the easiest thing I can tell you is you follow me, you'll see his stuff because I am his number one fan. I believe this guy deserves to be famous while he's still alive. I really don't like what he believes, and what most artists believe. I want to be the one to say, no, Mr. Wu, they'll know about you, because you're that good.
Yeah. I think Steely Dan did a song for him on the Katy Light album. Are you with me, Dr. Wu? Are you? Steely Dan fans will get that joke. Anyway, so as we go out, give us a roundabout on your thoughts and final sort of pitch out you want people to maybe leave reminded of the show.
I would just say if you made it this far, you likely know me or you hate me. Or maybe you're trying to get to know, me a little bit. And all I can say is I'm a regular person in the path, in the journey. We're all on the path journey. There is no better or worse journey. It's all about sharing as you go along. It's all about karma and doing the right thing. It's all about art for art's sake. And if you're not afraid to be a moron, then you will succeed. And that's all I got for you. And if you ever need help along the way, I'm a real dude. I'm connecting to other real people, and we'll find ways to help.
I still love to see this moron book.
The
Way of Morons. The Way of Morons, or not Mormons. The Way of Morons, which, they're two very close, similar. And the Way of, what else could we do? The Moron Club, the Journey of Morons or something, or maybe the Moron Bible, something like that. So
a lot of ways.
You're right. Let me fall back to that because I think that's really interesting what you do. And, we have a lot of authors on the show and writers that want to be writers that listen to the show. When you find that you're writing those 1,000 words a day, I think it was, what do you usually write about? Is there an agenda that you keep, or is it just whatever's top of mind?
So I started not knowing what to do. I've fallen into a few different containers, I would say, that I think I can use that become, structure for it. That is, I'm working on something I can release to the public. It's going to be called Cosmic Creativity. And, it will hopefully be a little bit prompt based so that people can have an easier time understanding exactly the process that is in development as we go, because just like I'm like Frankenstein, just practicing on myself here. That's what I got.
Like Frankenstein. You know, you bring up some good points. We're all in development. We're all hopefully evolving. I've seen some people that aren't. They're devolving, I'm pretty sure. But they're on Twitter. And that's a good call. It's a callback joke we use for the show. And we refuse to call it whatever the Nazis are calling it this week. He sells those scammy cars or whatever they are. So anyway, I watch them pile up in the parking lots over here. They're not selling. Anyway, so as we go out, tell people your .coms. Where can people find out more about you, learn more about you, see your YouTube channel, et cetera, et cetera?
YouTube channel, Sitting with Steve is one of them. The other one is Moron et al. There's one there. You will find rap videos. Yes, I did a rap song. I also did a music video for Staten Island called Orange Boat. You'll find that there. You can find my website, www.moronsmemoir.com, as well as www.creativepostures.com. If you're an artist needing a little mentorship, reach out to us there. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, LinkedIn. I'm really there. That's actually me. And find me there. And if not, see you when I see you.
See you when I see you. And there'll be links to the Chris Voss, on the Chris Voss Show page you can check out there as well. Well, thank you. It's been fun to have you on and insightful as well. We certainly appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks, Jonas, for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that should have